Hey there. Welcome back to Supercharged Fridays. 241 weeks of live streaming every week on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. My name is Sonal Behel, former HR director and career strategist, and I help people who are transitioning in their career with courses, coaching, and content, just like what you're watching right now. So, wherever you're watching me, if it's on YouTube, and if this is your first time, very warm welcome. Happy you're here. And what I do is every single Friday, I just show up and see how you're doing. And if there's anything I can do to help, share some perspectives. That's pretty much what this is about. And let's get into it. I apologize. A couple of minutes late. I couldn't find my phone. Looked everywhere. I'm sweating. And I don't know. I think this happens to me about 4 times a day. I can't find my phone. I don't know. Anybody else here in the chat, tell me in the chat if this happens to you. You're looking for your phone. It's becoming a little too frequent with me, and I'm not particularly proud of it. Anyway, what else is happening? I got my microphone. My microphone's not connected. Can't find my wire. So it's just like stupid stuff. So let me know if you can hear me and see me properly, because I'm using not my microphone anymore. I'm using the microphone from the camera. So just let me know, is the quality okay? Can you hear me okay? And I have another microphone that's broken. I don't want to bore you with this stuff. How are you doing? How's the week been? Is there anything I can do to help? Tell me about what was the best part of the week? And what is it that I can do? Any fresh perspectives you need? If you showed up last week and you have some updates, you were in interviews, that's so exciting, or you were just getting an offer, what happened? Let us know. I'll be happy to sort of share my perspectives. Thank you for being here. I think Dipali is your name. Thank you for being here, Risto. How are you? Yeah. Fantastic week. Good for you, Risto. Good for you. When are we having you back? I think after the summer rush, let's have you back. And I think I'd love to talk to you about career change, because you have so many perspectives and you've done so much research on it. It would be really great to speak to you about career change. Thank you for being here. How are you? Okay. You talked about an interview that was awesome. However, I got rejected. So how was your week? Not great. Okay, let's talk about that, Dipali. If you're open to it, let's talk about that. Let's not let the outcome dictate the fact that the interview process wasn't great. But of course, you want the job. So I know that it goes without saying. But are there any specific lessons that you took away from this experience that you are like, wow, okay, this was something I could have done better, or never again, or I could have done a little more of this part, or hammered this point home a little bit more? Because if you don't walk away with these lessons, the chances are you might repeat some of the things that you are doing which are not helping you. So let's talk about that. And doesn't matter, there's a few other things you can do. If you haven't got the job, doesn't matter, write them a follow-up note. Say, it was really, fantastic to meet everybody, and, say, I'm disappointed, but, I wish you the best. Never know. I interviewed a couple of podcast candidates that did that and things turned around. You never know. It doesn't hurt from your side. You should do whatever you can. Yeah, you need to find out also, is there anything you could have done differently? It'll be great if you can get feedback. I don't want to be in this IDK. I don't know. Not good enough. Find out more if you can. And secondly, look inside, look inwards a bit more. Think in a quiet place, sitting down in a room, and think, because chances are deep down, listen, there are two reasons usually. Someone else was better, or there was something about you that didn't fit. So someone else was better is a little bit less personal, right? It's possible that's what happened, and we might be overthinking this. But I prefer to focus on the controllables, because someone else is better, the economy is bad, all of that stuff is outside our control. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm sorry this happened. I know that sting. Feel the feelings. Don't eat your feelings. Don't binge watch your feelings. Don't drink your feelings. Just feel them. Take a day, take 2 days, move on. Okay? Eyes on the prize. Um, all right. So, um, what else is happening? I am here specifically for questions. I got 19 minutes to be precise. Is there anything I could be doing? Is there any way I can help you? I'm all yours. I'm just gonna check if my LinkedIn is all right. If my LinkedIn is working. Hi, Atharv. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna check out your comment right away. Okay, LinkedIn seems to be working. What's going on? HR asked me to submit my documents on Monday. Today's Friday. So it's been 4 days. I haven't heard back. How long should I wait? Okay. So I think let's rephrase that question. Instead of saying how long should I wait, you can think about what else could I be doing? Okay. And I would say two things. And if HR has asked for documents, could it be I'm one of the final candidates? It could be. It's, I don't know. You don't know either. Okay. So let's not make too many assumptions and let's not get too comfortable. Okay. What I will say to you is that you can follow up and see, hey, is there anything else you need from me? I'm here. And the second thing you could be doing is having more conversations, having more interviews with other companies, having your resume sent out to multiple places. So I'm not a big fan of putting all my eggs in one basket. Literally, this happened to me today. This metaphor has become a reality today. It was just like this crate of eggs and it was stinking so badly. There's 2 or 3 of them were rotten. And there were so many of them in that basket. So it was just kind of like, So it's it sounds funny, but that smell is wild, okay? And it doesn't disappear. And guess what? Dogs love that smell. So my dog was all over the place. So I don't want you to depend too much on that basket, and let's focus on having it in multiple places. That makes sense? Yeah. Good luck. Okay. So when I look back, it felt like they had made up their mind. They had made up their mind that they want you, or they had made up their mind that they don't want you. Okay. Interviewers didn't even turn their camera on, and there was less engaging questions, no follow up. Not very nice. It's not a good sign, Dipali. Okay. You kept my confidence. You kept your confidence up, became less judgmental of the whole situation. Now it seems like the signs were there. So maybe that's telling you something. Okay. It's a little bit of an orange flag when a candidate is on camera and the interviewer is not. I'm not a fan of this. It feels very weird. It's different if it's an automated robot interview. That's different. But if it's human to human, why can't they have their camera on and you have your camera on and they're not asking you follow up questions? Not a good sign. If you felt even a tinsy winsy bit uncomfortable during interviews, can you imagine what it would actually be like to work there day in and day out? You never know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you dodged a bullet. Who knows? Okay, good luck. Hi, Kiran. I negotiated a fixed component and the organization gave it later, and I realized I asked less. Okay, Kiran. I've talked about this in some recent salary negotiation videos as well. So you can check out the playlist on my YouTube channel. Personally, I'm not a big fan of going back and renegotiating. If you have negotiated something and they've given you what you wanted and then you realize you've asked for less, could you go back and do it again? You could try, but just keep in mind it's not like, people say, what's the harm? There is some harm here. There is a possibility that they may not like that, and then you're going to have to live with those consequences. So you need to decide. I can't answer that for you. It's the equation between the two of you, and you need to see the room. You need to read the room. And on one hand, I understand the ramifications of such an important decision, a much higher salary for the rest of your career. On the other hand, play the risks. Okay, there's a possibility that they'll be like, wow, this guy is not trustworthy. What's going on? So if you want a little bit more help on this, I have some scripts where I talk about multiple scenarios in salary negotiation, including this one. This is a very popular question. I get this a lot. And it's called, I'm going to share it with you just in case this is of interest and you want to kind of skip, all of the videos and, you just want to get the help that you need. Go to my website, superchargeyourself.com. and / negotiation script. So in case this is helpful, I'm just sharing it with you right here. And I don't know where you're watching me. I'm going to put it in the comments as well. If you're watching me on YouTube, you can click on the link. Superchargeyourself.com / negotiation script. This is a very popular question. Should I go back and renegotiate? I'm not a big fan of it, but if you do renegotiate, you need to use right words, right tone. All of that stuff matters. Okay. So good luck, Kiran. Keep us posted if you can. Good morning, Christine. How are you doing? You're welcome, Atharv. Thank you for being here. Hi, Sujita. Last week I pinged you asking if it would help about questions on jobs that can be done from home. Yeah. Good question, Sujita. There are probably lots of jobs that you can do from home, but if you don't know where to start, okay, I would say firstly start by checking out Facebook groups which are referred to you by friends or friends of friends, where people have similar interests, because they might be sharing a lot of knowledge inside those groups. Facebook groups tend to be very popular for very specific things, and they tend to be very popular for these type of things. Women, hundreds and thousands of Facebook groups, what is the word? Hundreds of thousands, hundreds and my math, millions of Facebook groups which are specific for topics, and I'm sure there will be. But how do you distinguish what is genuine, what is not? It helps to have a friend who can refer you, or a friend of a friend, even if you don't know that person, but they say, yeah, these guys are good, and they have links, maybe. So because the Google world is so huge, you can try and put it in Google. Good luck with that. You're going to come across so many options, and you'll be like, I don't know where to start. I'm completely going down a rabbit hole. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do, which is why I would say start there. Okay, good luck. It's a fun, think of it as a fun project. Like, give yourself, I don't know, 1 week, give yourself 1 month, and come up with a list, and then do your homework and see which ones you want to pursue. It could be very interesting. Okay, good luck with that. Ugh, it is such a turn off when they haven't put their cameras on. Rana Joy, ki khobor. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. I missed something here. Hey, Resto. Sajid shared a brilliant quote in this context. I don't see that quote from Sajid. What is going on? What's happening, LinkedIn? What are you doing with me again? Why don't you like me, LinkedIn? Yes, I see Sajid's quotes, but I only see them on my phone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's so weird. And the quote that Risto is referring to is, if I have seen further than others, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Coaches and mentors help you with solutions that you have never tried or thought about. Thank you, Sajid. Appreciate that. Isaac Newton. That's a very popular quote. I see it get used a lot. Yeah. No, I have the Find My Phone ultimately. And luckily for me, my husband was home, and it was behind it had fallen in under some laundry. Stupid nonsense. All right. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Anything else I can help with? What else is going on? Those who have asked, those who've been here, thank you for being here. But those who haven't asked and you're watching me and you're like being shy, just come in. You're always welcome. Okay. This is a no judgment zone. And if you don't feel comfortable on LinkedIn because somebody might be like tracking your comments or whatever, check out YouTube, check out Facebook. I'm all over the place. And you can always have an anonymous name on YouTube. I always say this to people. I get questions from people, and then 5 minutes later, when I log off from the live stream, I always tell them, hey, maybe think about removing that comment because it's a sensitive comment, it's related to their current employer. You always have privacy in these things, right? So how crucial is it to update your LinkedIn profile? I would say, Christine, is that a question from you? I would say, Christine, people say do it every quarter. I'm not that person. I would say whenever there is a pretty, like whenever there's a change, it's a good time to do it. Now, it could be a change, could be anything. It doesn't have to be only like paid work. It could be a volunteer role. It could be some skills that you didn't have before that you added. So every time there is a change, think first place, not resume, think first place LinkedIn because it's public, right? Resume, you can do it as well. Do it the same day. Take you an hour or so and it's done. But especially for your LinkedIn, I would say that's a good idea. If you have the discipline, unlike me, then you can do it once a quarter, put it on your calendar, and make those changes. I personally don't um, experience significant changes every quarter, so I find that a bit more sort of a bit of a drag. Hey, Dipali, what's the biggest lesson you learned in your career? Oof, I don't know where to start. Dipali, what you could do is um, check out. I did a keynote once, and it was recorded online for a group of PhDs and postdocs. And I talked about, there was like a 19-minute video on lessons that I learned in my career. So if you can sort of go back a bit, check it out. The only downside of that video is that the music in the background is a little too loud. So that's a bit annoying. But if you can like move past that, just focus on the words. I will not tell you one, I will tell you, I don't know. I think it had like 8 or 10 lessons and really good stuff. I don't tend to share too much fluff. And there were some of them were hard fought lessons, you know, learned with mistakes, learned with failures, learned with sweat. But that's what it's about. Okay. Last question I think I'm going to take. Kiran, when organizations hire, how do they find out if the candidate is a perfect fit? They're looking for a few parameters, right? They want to figure out competence, which means technically, can you do the job? And there's also the social element, right? Social skills. Can you get along with people? Can you get work done through people? So they have ways to find out through questions, right? Through assessments. Assessments are more neutral. Interviews are dependent on interviewers. Interviewers are human beings, and human beings, by definition, are biased. All of us are biased. So, much more to this, but it's the first thing that comes to mind. If there's a big gap between what's expected and what's actual, what goes with that candidate? Don't quite understand the question, Kiran. If there's a big gap, see, people want someone who's a bit more plug and play, right? They don't want someone who they have to train for a long period of time, particularly mid career, where they are paying good money. So you want to show them more that the gap is really not there. If there is a gap, you need to have a very good story ready. Hope that answers. I don't know if this is what you're looking for. Hi, Palash. Thank you for being here. All right. I think this is good. So one more thing I wanted to say was I'm going to go back to a little bit more frequent podcast publishing. So if you guys are following my podcast, How I Got Hired, where I interview like there's these amazing stories with, I interview people around the world and I ask them all their best career stuff. It's so much fun. It's the best part of what I do. And this week's episode that's come out is really, really good. It's with a guy who the story is incredible. I'm not going to give you all the details, but it's about gratitude, but not in a fluffy, soft way that you think. But he talks about how it's actually a very important thing during job search. And he's someone who is in his 60s and is not afraid to share the ugly aspects, the not so, curated elements of his career. So it's been It's a heck of a conversation, and you should check that out. Even the title itself made me laugh because we talked about all of that stuff. Getting fired from, you will never believe the industry he got fired from. If you've seen the title, you'll know. If you haven't, check that out. And you're wondering how I got hired. My podcast is called How I Got Hired. If you just Google how I got hired and just write Sonal Behel, you'll find it. Okay, do. That's one thing I wanted to say. And yeah, lastly, I wanted to say that if you're someone who's been following my work here, and you come weekly and you're like learning a lot, um, but at the same time you feel in your career a little frustrated, a little bit lost, think about reaching out. Okay, think about scheduling a game plan call. There is no obligation. It's basically to understand more about what you need. The call can be 10 minutes, the call can be an hour. It depends. If I see that we are a good fit to work together, and what are your needs and how can we help you get there, and how I can help, right? All of that stuff I talk about in the game plan call. So if that is of interest, check out the link, superchargeyourself.com/game plan. And if that's not for you, that's fine as well. But I think it's my duty to share, particularly if you're watching me right now, you know who you are. And I think life's too short to continue to feel a certain way, especially if you're not happy. We need to have a good relationship with our career. I think of a career as a person. And if I'm happy, it goes well. But if my career and I are not happy, it shows up in all parts of my life. Right? Cool. I thought I was done. Quick question. I have a feeling this is going to be a philosophical question, so I'm not quite sure, MK, I'm the best person for this. Let me also check because I missed a little bit earlier. Did I miss any more LinkedIn comments? No, it seems to be okay. We're good. If value engineering is the real attribute which satisfies the focus forces which decide the growth of the individual. My God, these are big words and too many words for me, MK. Why is education not geared towards that? Because investors drive management. I have no idea. You tell me. Because it feels like this question's already like answered with the way it's been worded. Yeah, education's going at a very glacial pace, very, very slowly. But I just came back from India and spent some time with my nephews and nieces. Things are changing. There are some schools, when I say schools, I mean schools of thought that continue to stay the way they are. There are others that are more focused on the practical, right? The vocational, and not pure academic. But some, it's slow, right? So not something that I can answer. There'll be lots of people who are way more qualified than I am. What are the red flags we should observe in the recruitment process? Ankit, good question. I have an article on this very topic. I gotta go because I have my group coaching program starting now in a minute. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, okay, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna put this in my blog. Actually, it's a good point. If you go to my LinkedIn profile, you're gonna have to go back 4 years. I don't have that many articles, so it should take you a few seconds. Okay, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, under activity, there's something called articles. Just check, and there is a blog post called, an article called how to detect a good or bad boss during a job interview. And that covers things like culture and company, because people, leadership drives everything, right? That should help you, right? All right. Thank you for being here. Have a lovely rest of your Friday and weekend. And I shall see you at the same time next Friday. Bye for now.